Alright guys, Callsign Spartan Airsoft here. Today I got a really interesting video that I hope you guys will enjoy. Even some people who don't follow me regularly, I feel like this will come in very handy, as videos like this did for me when I was building this. But this video is going to be about my rocket launcher, how I built it, the tools I used, the processes I went through, the things I bought, and so on and so forth. So with that being said, let's get into the video. Alright guys, so to start off, some of the tools you'll need. You'll need something to cut the PVC. So I used an electric saw, but this is just a hand saw because I can't move the electric one. You'll need some PVC cement and primer. Just a small little bottle. All you're using it for is to put the cap on. Pair of channel locks. I used a different one, a bigger pair than this, but this is all I had in front of me right now. Half-inch wrench. Some 2-part epoxy, preferably a brand new tube because you're going to need a lot of it, and a pipe wrench. So with that, that's pretty much it for tools. Some of the materials you'll need, I used a 2-inch PVC pipe for my exterior finish for the outside tube. Inside is an 1.5-inch PVC pipe with an 1.5-inch end cap that just sticks out the end there a little bit. And what I used to keep this in place, the 1.5-inch piece in place, is some expanding spray foam. This worked great. We got a can of it, stuck the hose down the barrel and filled it up, and after a while it expanded, came out the top of the barrel. We cut off the ends, like the remaining foam at the ends, and it's been solid as rock ever since. We then glued the end cap on to make sure all the pressure came out the right way of the barrel. Yeah, and after that that's when we used the PVC cement. We then drilled this hole in the side of the barrel. So I would show you guys a step-by-step on how to make it, but seeing as how I already have one, there's no sense in me going out and making another one for you. But it's very simple, very, very simple. So we just took a slightly larger than 1/2-inch diameter drill bit, circular drill bit, and we drilled a hole straight through the outside pipe, the foam, and the inside pipe. And that way we can stick this assembly, this metal assembly, into the barrel. And what you do is you go in and you get a bunch of 2-part epoxy and you stuff it down there so that it cakes the inside pipe and the outside pipe. And what that's going to do is that's going to make it so that no gas, no CO2, can escape from this pipe, from this hole right here, or on the inside. So pressure comes out from the inside of the barrel out here and out the foam. Because the foam is strong, but it's not that strong to withstand the pressure of a full CO2 cartridge. So with the epoxy in there, you're going to get just an amazing seal like I have. It's no gas is lost from this seal, from this hole in the barrel. Is exactly what it is. And as long as you use a lot of it, you get a very liberal use of it. Doesn't matter how it looks as long as it functions. Onto this actual metal part right here. This is all 1/2-inch metal pipe, stainless steel. This is aluminum, but and this is brass. But for the most part, it's stainless steel 1/2-inch tubing. You get, I think we got an 1.5-inch connector. That went just a double screw piece. That went into the barrel. This is a 90-degree elbow piece with females on both sides. Then you have a male, a double male, I think this is 2-inch pipe right here. And this is a locking ball valve. Now, we got this off Amazon for really cheap. I mean, it's more expensive than a regular ball valve, but this will make sense a little later when I'm explaining to you why I put that on there. And it's just a regular 1/2-inch ball valve. And then there is a 1.5-inch piece of double male pipe right here. And then that threads onto a double female connector. And this connector is what connects your CO2 cartridge holder, which is what I have right here on the end. And you unscrew this all the way, and then you just drop a CO2 cartridge, nipple up, so you can see the opening of the cartridge right there. And then you just take it. I have some Teflon tape on here to give me a good seal. And as you screw this back on, it gets tighter until finally it gets so tight that it punctures. There's a little needle in there, and it punctures the CO2 cartridge. And right about there, you'll hear it like psst, you'll hear the hiss, and it'll start to fill up this little chamber right here. Now, in operation, you'll take that off and you'll have this right there in the closed position. And then when you puncture that CO2 cartridge, all that CO2 is going to be built up right in here, in this little spot right here. And then as soon as you go like that and let the ball valve open, it's all going to rush out and fill up the chamber behind the rocket launcher, and it's going to shoot out the end. If you're quick with it, you can get 2 shots out of it. But if you just want to be one and done, you can do that too, and you can just hold it open, and it'll all go out the end of the barrel. Yeah, that's about it for this metal piece. I ordered this online. You can get them for, I think I bought this for $25. I've had it for a while. To the best of my knowledge, you can still buy it. I'll put the link down in the description below if I can find it. But yeah, most of this stuff, actually all this stuff except for this ball valve and this piece right here, I bought at Lowe's. So just goes to show you how simple this is to actually make. And I made it all by myself in 2 or 3 days. So yeah, that's it for the structural bit of it. Now to get on to some more details. Alright guys, so with the structural build over, I'm just going to go over some of the cosmetic features of my design and my choosing that I wanted on this thing. So first of all, you can see it's painted OD green, just a quick, actually dual coat of spray paint, and it still looks pretty good for having seen upwards of 3 days of consecutive milsim at a time, so it looks pretty good. I took some painter's tape, put it on each side of this, and I painted this yellow stripe, which is regular wall paint, exterior paint, and it hasn't come off, surprisingly. Not just a few nicks here and there, but it's still in great shape. I took a little hand brush and I wrote this cursive, Lucy, that's the name of the rocket launcher. On the bottom here, I have 2 eye-rings, eye-rings, and they are what I attach my sling to. This is just a cheap 2-point sling that I've had forever, and I decided what better to put it on than a rocket launcher, especially because this thing is, I wouldn't say heavy, but it's certainly not light. This was a conscious decision. This could be made a lot lighter if I didn't have this big pipe on the outside, but it looked too small to be a real rocket launcher without this piece, so it was a cosmetic change and it made it heavier, but I'm willing to deal with the weight because it looks a lot better because of it. You can make it just bare bones with just this 1.5-inch PVC pipe on the inside, and it'll work fine, but I just prefer the look of this big 2.5 or 2-inch piece on the outside, just to make it look that more realistic. So let's put that back on. Now, on to the locking ball valve. When I originally built this, I built this with just a regular open and closed ball valve. And the first time I took it out onto the field, I went to go shoot it, and it was a dud. Now, it wasn't that CO2 cartridge was a dud. It was, while I had been running, this ball valve, not this one, the old one, had just slightly opened just enough that it made just a little bit of a leak that the pressure could slowly bleed out the barrel. And when I went to fire it, nothing came out the end, and I got shot. So I decided that I was going to get this locking ball valve. And the way it works is it's got this little hole right here, and that lets you put this carabiner in. And that carabiner is what keeps this little latch right here, this little toggle latch, in place, in the locked position. And when I'm ready to fire it, I just let that fall down, because it'll be horizontal like this, and it'll just want to naturally fall down. And then at that point, I can just open it like a regular ball valve. And then if I want to lock it closed, I just let this fall back down, and I put the carabiner on. And I feel like this is a really good system. It's a good safety to have on it, not only just to keep me from getting shot and looking like an idiot, but it's still a good safety feature, because, I mean, if it falls or I am running and it, just rotates on my back, it could, hit the guy right next to me in the face with a rocket. And that, I mean, granted, we wear a lot of protection, but it could still really hurt him. So that's why I like it. More so for the convenience fact of knowing that it's always going to come out the barrel when I pull the trigger, or I guess in this case, turn the trigger. But right here you can see a good example of how what I was talking about with the carabiner not letting it turn. I can't wiggle it more than that, and that's not enough to turn the ball valve all the way to open it. So it's a good safety feature. Alright, that's about that. Now to close out the video. So guys, in closing, this is just a quick video that I wanted to make to show you guys my rocket launcher, how you can make your own, what you need, and just some little tips and tricks that I've learned through experience so you don't have to. That's about that. It's a nice rocket launcher. I'm so glad that I made it. It saved my ass so many times from running from technicals or just killing them outright. So that's about that. This is Call Sign Spartan, signing off.